So I don't know about you, but I have a family and I want to make sure that we are prepared for an emergency situation, whether that's electricity going out for a few days, or maybe we don't have access to food and clean water for a few days. Are we prepared for that? Now, on top of that, just a few weeks ago when we had that small earthquake, it kind of brought it back to the front of my head, and luck would have it around the same time, I was actually introduced to a local resident, Chris Reidel, and he owns an emergency survival gear company. So today I'm going to talk to Chris, and we're going to go over a little bit about himself, how he came to own Echo Sigma, a little bit about all the different types of products he offers. That way you can have a better understanding of how to prepare yourself and your family in case you have an emergency, whether it lasts a few hours, a few days, a few weeks, or even if you're attacked by zombies, aliens, and Sasquatch. He's got something for everything. So you don't want to miss today's episode. Let's go ahead and get into it. Everybody, welcome back to the show. So today I am here with Chris Reidel. So Chris, thank you for joining me on the show today. So let's go ahead and dive straight into it. So before we get into what we see back here, let's go ahead and get to know you a little bit. Let's let Yorba Linda understand who you are as a person. So before you got into this business, can you just tell us a little bit about yourself first?
Sure. So born and raised in Garden Grove, not too far away from here. Always been an outdoorsy kind of person, heavily into sports. Played college baseball. That was my passion for my whole life.
Okay.
And just loved being outside in the community and trying new things. I didn't really fit in the box of working a 9-to-5 job. I did that for a long time, and I just never felt happy.
Seems like a very common thing for entrepreneurs.
Absolutely. And it just
stuck in that box.
Totally.
Yeah.
And then it just something clicks. And I think I had a great upbringing with my mom and dad who are entrepreneurs, and it taught me how to just expand how else you can live your life and enjoy family time.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah. So speaking of family, do you have a family yourself?
Yes, I have a wife, married
Okay.
for almost 18 years, Catherine or Kate, and 2 kids, 13 and 11.
Wow. Okay. So handful, I'm guessing.
Handful, yep, sports and dinner
Always
time.
busy, yeah.
You got it.
Okay. And so anything before you got into this, so you kind of had that entrepreneur mindset. So when did that kind of switch from going like a regular job, switching over to something where you're doing it all by yourself?
Certainly. So when I was a little guy, like
Okay.
11 or 12,
Yeah.
my dad would sell car parts at car shows.
Okay.
And he got me to be an entrepreneur at the age of 11 or 12, where he bought a bunch of hat pins you'd put on your shirt or your hat.
Yeah.
And so he spent $1,000 and bought me a bunch of hat pins. And then I made a cute little sign
Yep.
around my dog's neck. We sat at a little table like this, and I would sell hat pins, $3 each or $2 or $5.
Okay.
Well, I was like 14, and there was a 2-day car show,
Yeah.
and I made like $1,200 in 2 days at like 13. You know, I went off and I bought my first pair of Jordans.
Yeah.
It was like, and then Dad's like, "Hey, great job. Okay, so I need the money back that I gave you." And I was just crying.
Yeah. Yep.
Not sure how to understand it.
Yep.
But it clicked, and I'm like, wow, he taught me something so early
Mhm.
of how to be successful or other ways to be successful
Yeah.
from the norm, right?
Yep.
And it just encouraged me to just kind of think outside the box.
Okay. So now let's kind of go over what we see back here. So tell me a little bit about Echo Sigma.
So Echo Sigma is a company that was started in 2010, and we looked on the market. We've always been outdoorsy family, campers, hikers, fishermen, things like that. And there was no really good high-end solution for emergency preparedness.
Okay.
You go online and you see things that were just kind of a plastic flashlight, batteries eroded inside.
Yep.
Oh, is this going to be there when I need it when the lights go out?
Yep.
And so we just did a lot of market research, talked to a lot of first responders and military, and wanted to put a solution out there in the market that was going to be there when you needed it and going to last as long as you need it. Yeah.
Okay. So let's kind of go over some of these things here. So you have a whole bunch of selection on here, and obviously your website that you have has a giant selection. I looked at it myself, and there's so much to choose from. And it sounds like you can almost customize what you want in your pack based on that. But let's go over some of the things that maybe, let's start with kind of your bestseller and what that is and why people might want it.
Absolutely. So the big thing that kind of opened our eyes on the brand was we made 3 bags. We had a 1-day survival solution or emergency solution for food and water and rations, something for a 2 or 3 hour power outage or your car breaks down, to a 3-day, which is our 72-hour bag, the most popular seller.
Okay.
We were really one of the first ones on the market with this bag, and that has more extensive tools in there, tent, things you're really going to need if something were to be a little longer time for without power or some kind of emergency.
Okay.
Up to a 5 to 7 day bag, which is over here by you, Josh, and that's going to be like 36 pounds with full meals in there, high-end tools. And then it kind of evolved into other fun stuff. We got a couple phone calls from The Walking Dead and other shows, and they asked us to make special bags for them. And then there was the whole Alien Storm the Gates thing, and so we said, well, let's make one of those. And we have one of those with gas masks, and it kind of just escalated from there, and then it became customization and whatever you want to do for it.
Okay. So you pretty much have a survival pack for anything. So I've seen Sasquatch on there, I've seen aliens, I've seen the zombies. So obviously that's going to be on the fun side of things, but there is going to be things in there that are going to be important for you to be able to survive.
Absolutely.
So if you want to go ahead and kind of explain. So if it's labeled alien, you said there's gas masks, things like that. What else could you find in something like that?
Yeah, so as funny as they may be, we know it's very serious to be prepared, and things can be very scary. So we try to make it kind of lighthearted. And so we have all these things are very, very high-end tools. So from headlamp, from really expensive gas masks to, in our alien bag, we actually, our Sasquatch bag, we have night vision goggles. Because, you know, you're out somewhere and something happens and you just want to be prepared in every kind of different scenario. We even have a coffee maker in here because, you know what?
You got to have
coffee.
You
got to have coffee. That's the way my day starts every day.
Okay. So, I mean, it sounds like you're not going to be, like you said at the beginning of this, you're not finding like these tiny little first aid kits in here. You have that in there, but you're going to have a lot more. And these things are going to be high end. They're meant to last a long time. So speaking of, if someone was to buy one of these packs that has, let's say, the food rations in it, how long do those food rations in terms of expiration really last so people can have it ready to go sitting in their closet for approximately how many years?
Right. So the shelf life, they say, is 5 years for the food rations, the MREs we put in here. My dad was in the military, and so he said these MREs would sit on the flight deck for years and years and years, and they would eat them. But we generally recommend 5 years. That's what they say on the containers as well. And then we'll send you an email after 5 years. Hey, just so you know, if you want a refresh pack of your food and water, we send that out to you as well. Okay.
So you have kind of like a separate section where you just basically just the food supplies get reestablished in there.
Absolutely.
Okay. And then as you've kind of grown this business, what have you found to be the most exciting part about it? And then on the opposite side, what's been the hardest part about growing a business like this?
Yeah, so let's say the exciting part is when you're just working, doing your thing, you're just grinding, trying to make it for your family, right? And then you get a call from a TV producer, or we worked with Bear Grylls. We did a huge deal. We sold him like 7,000 units for a big survival challenge. And I said, hey, I want to do this, but if I'm going to do this, I want to meet Bear. And so Bear and I ate bugs together. We swam with snakes. We did all kinds of crazy stuff. And it turns into things that you love, and it like opens up more things in your life that you would never expect to happen.
Different experiences that you never even thought.
And it allows us to not miss any of our kids' sporting events or our kids' plays at school, whatever it may be. So it's just it is a fun way to live life. It's not always easy because there are times when you got to figure out how to keep marketing and growing your brand. You know?
And would you say that's the hardest part about this type of business, or what would you say is the most difficult part about it?
Absolutely, it's the hardest part because we are all online. So we have to do a really good job of being smart with creating people that come to our business and seeing us online, and keeping a demand there. Because ever since COVID, that was kind of lightning in a bottle for us. That was like we were just at the right place at the right time. And when that happened, it brought out a bunch of new competitors who wanted to jump in this market. So, and a lot of which have a lot more financial backing than we were. We're just kind of feet in the ground doing it, you know, the old-fashioned way.
One door at a time.
That's it.
Okay. So, last question I always like to ask when we get into it is, why Yorba Linda? So why did you choose to live here, open your business inside Yorba Linda? What is it about Yorba Linda that makes it so special?
So honestly, it was the education for our kids. We were looking around, do we pay for private school? Do we stay where I was born and raised in Garden Grove? And we looked around and we thought, wow, my wife's family's from Yorba Linda. We loved it here. We'd always come here and visit for holidays and everything else like that. And we didn't live too far away. And we thought, this is the place we want to raise our family. It's just like a wholesome place where it's just like this hidden little gem that It's like I want people to come here, but I love it the way it is, and I don't want to.
Yeah.
I don't. All my friends are
That's
like,
always
gosh, I don't
the-
get it. It's magical here.
Yeah, yeah, and that's, I mean, that seems to be very common. So you have, it's a smaller, tight-knit community, but you still have all the amenities you need. You have good school systems. You're far enough away from the city life where it's not constant chaos of traffic. It's a lot quieter, and everybody kind of knows each other here, which kind of makes it a great place to live, raise kids, and really just enjoy your community. So,
Absolutely.
yep. Okay. Well, last thing on here is, where can people find more information about this?
Oh, so if you go to echosigma.com, ECHOSIGMA.com,
Okay.
you can look for us, see our brand, see all the things we're doing. We're always trying to put out new videos for training, education. And also I wanted to tell you, for your listeners, if they go on and put, let's see, Discovery, so DYL10, they can get a discount.
Awesome.
So DYL10 in the promo code, and they get money off.
Okay.
And they can check out all of our brands.
Yeah.
And if they're local, we can either hand deliver the bag to you,
Okay.
or we can ship it to you, whatever you want to do.
Got it. Well, I appreciate you doing that for us. So anybody, if you're looking for survival from a few hours all the way to a couple of weeks, you have everything here you need. So go ahead, check out their website, because they have a ton of different solutions. Whether you're shopping for yourself, you're buying it as a gift, check them out, support our local businesses and our local community. And again, Chris, thank you for joining me today. I really appreciate understanding a little bit more about your business here. And everybody else, until next time, stay happy, stay healthy, and I'll see you on the next show. Bye, everybody.